how big of a deal is it to get locked into this MDEP?
It would be a big deal. We're a Zoom shop, but if I was locked into Zoom on a hardware level, that would be a big deal for us. I like that if Zoom starts failing and Teams is kicking butt, I can just go reboot all of my meeting rooms and all of a sudden I'm a Teams organization. I think that it keeps Zoom and I think it keeps Microsoft on their toes, on their development process, and keeps me winning no matter who wins.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
The importance of locally made AV gear, the dangers of Microsoft's MDEP, and enhancing experiences with projection mapping. All that and more next on AV Week. This is AV Week, episode 673, recorded Friday, July 12th, 2024. Elevating AV experiences. This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of audio-visual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. With us to discuss the news and information we have got this week, first and foremost, straight out of the hospital, Bill O'Donnell from Rutgers University. How are you, sir?
I'm good. And by the way, for all parties involved, I already the bionic rebuild has been already happening. I just need to get the tracksuit and go fight Bigfoot after this. Anyways.
For anybody under 40, that is a $10 million man reference. Go look it up on Wikipedia. Good to see you, too. Also with us is a couple of newbies, so Bill, be nice to them. Brad Terry. Brad comes to us from Pace University. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here. Thanks, Tim.
Awesome. And last but not least, Tom Oliver from our friends at Vanco. Welcome, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. Great to be here.
Absolutely. Good to see you. If you want to know what O'Donnell did to his arm, you can ask him on Twitter or LinkedIn or something. So if you're not watching the video, it's, I don't know, what is it? A full finger to elbow?
No,
cast?
It's a basic splint. It's
halfway to, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. First story comes to us from our friends over at Rave Pubs and Buyers Club. They created a list of U.S. manufactured product. The lineup includes audio solutions like Biamp's Sacera Forte, sound tubes, in-ceiling speakers, as well as video conferencing tools like Insta360 Connect with its dual 4K cameras. Other highlights included Da-Lite's Myriad screen system, Crimson AV's outdoor kiosk, Vadio's Easy IV camera with its quote-unquote advanced framing technology, and AtlasIED's FAP62T ceiling speakers. Now, this article leans really heavily on the manufacturer claims, paints a picture of pretty diverse and innovative American AV landscape. Now, here's the thing. This came out actually, Steph Beckett and I did a top 10 Infocom, the top 10 products at Infocom. One of them was the sound tube speakers. They made a big deal about it being BAA compliant, Buy American compliant, meaning these things are made in America. That list I just gave you, everything there is manufactured in America. I am not here to give you one way or the other on quality or performance or anything. That is not what this segment is about. It really, though, it comes down to manufacturing in country. And, whether it is China, it is Vietnam, it is Mexico, it is the U.S., it is India, wherever, folks all around the world have put systems and programs in place to encourage the purchase of locally manufactured, and locally there is a little bit in quotations, locally manufactured products. And I say it's in quotations. I don't mean they're not really manufactured there. I just mean they're manufactured locally as in that country. Bill, I'm going to start with you on this. How big of a deal is it? Rutgers is in U.S. How big of a deal is it for American manufactured AV products?
So it actually is for us a fairly big deal. For example, Yealink, which is not manufactured in the U.S. at all.
Nope.
Yealink is completely banned from our campus. Like we do not allow if folks try to even purchase it, it gets stopped at our purchasing department and everything. On the reverse end of it, the thing that I tend to like about American-based manufacturing, if anything, we have Aurora Multimedia literally down the road from us. So from time to time we do get some products of theirs and everything. And the good thing is, at least with that, that is having some things nice in the backyard. Also, about 40 minutes north of us is FSR. It makes it, at least from an end user perspective, as well as just locally here in New Jersey, It's nice in the fact that literally I go, oh, this is broken. I know the direct number we can go and call. I also know specifically we can go and get, replacement parts, and we go, okay, the warehouse or the distributor can get the stuff pretty easily, as opposed to, say, if I remember right, I think like some components from Cisco or Poly, there's usually a backlog. They give us they go, a lot of Cisco stuff is out of Mexico, and there's going to be on average somewhere around they'll give us a 30 to 50 day lead time. And every now and then we have, we will get our, C-level executives, as we put it, higher end administration, who goes, I want this now. It kind of helps to have like a quick and easy, some local providers or, American-based manufacturing where we're like, oh yeah, here it is. We don't have to provide additional contracting or anything of that nature, especially when it comes to and Brad, you might understand this with me, dealing with like things that are grant based, because you have to account for the monies, where does monies go, this and this,
and that is some of that BAA TAA, right? That the TAA is making sure that they are manufactured in friendly countries, right? In this case, Yealink, would be out on that one as well. Brad, I didn't even think about this, the fact that you and Bill are both in the Northeast. Brad is at Pace University over in New York. Yes, Bill, as Bill said, you've got Aurora there, you've got FSR, you've got Crestron, you've got parts of LeGrand as well in New Jersey, but Mid-Atlantic, but you've got the rest of the United States as well. How big of a deal is it for U.S. Education facilities to have U.S. manufactured products?
I agree with Bill. We're not quite as strict. We don't have any manufacturers that are going to get stopped on the procurement process. I could buy Yealink products if I wanted to. But on the other hand, I do have to consider my service, my RMA process, my procurement process, and the advantages that having US-based manufacturers give to that. We're a Crestron shop. Having them next door has so many advantages. They can train our folks, procurement, support, RMA process. I have to ship something across a river to get something RMA. So having those folks right there is a big advantage. And for the products that we have that are out of country, if they don't have supply, if they don't have support that is close by, I do notice problems, and things don't usually work out long term. So if I need support ASAP, like Bill mentioned, C-suite folks, they want something now. If I can't get it right then I have a problem, and then I have to figure that out. So yeah, I like, Sennheiser products, German-based company, but I have support close by from them, and they have stock that's proven to be available. So in country, it doesn't necessarily manufactured in country isn't so much a big deal as it is a big deal for me to have availability and support when I need it. So if you're out of country and you can still provide that, then I'm okay with that.
Tom, actually, that leads very nicely into the question I was going to ask you. You guys, let's just say that Tom, he is our resident manufacturer on this panel. You had some challenges, let's say around 2020, 2021. What kind of things did Vanco have to put in place to do things like Brad is talking about?
Yeah, so I would say we had fewer challenges during that time frame than some of our competitors did. We recognized early on that supply chain issues were going to happen, and we loaded in inventory. We have about 4,200 SKUs at Vanco. The vast majority of those are made overseas in Asia. And our warehouse is jam full. We have a 98% in stock percentage running, total throughout the year. So we do have inventory. It's rare if I see something of relevance on back order ever. So our supply chain is very good. We do have engineering folks on site in Asia so that we can prod our manufacturers along to maybe get things a little quicker than some that rely on just a Zoom call from overseas. So having feet on the street in our manufacturing facilities is a big deal. And all of our support is based out of our office in Chicago. So if you need an RMA, you're talking to a person that's in Chicago that is, they can walk back to the warehouse and grab the product and ship it off to you. So it's something that happens quickly. Any orders that come in before 1 o'clock local time ship out the same day. And if it's obviously if it's something you need quickly, we send things out, next day. Tech support is based at our facility near Chicago. So the majority of the time when someone calls in tech support, they get a human that answers the phone and we solve the issue before they hang up. So being able to give that support, even though we don't manufacture our products in the U.S., is something that I think we excel at just based how our organization and structure set up.
Next story comes to us from our friends over at AV Magazine. Microsoft is shaking up the video conferencing hardware market with its device ecosystem platform. Now, from here on out, I'm going to call it MDEP, a move that could streamline Teams Rooms integration, but also raises concerns about vendor diversity. Based on Android, MDEP offers manufacturers a shortcut to Teams certification with quote-unquote enhanced security features. Well, this could accelerate device development and deployment. Industry watchers worry it might lead to a more homogenized market, especially for smaller meeting spaces. Giants like Logitech and HP Poly, known for their proprietary operating systems, face a dilemma here. Adopt MDEP for faster certification or risk losing ground in an increasingly commoditized landscape. As major players like Barco and Yealink jump on board, questions arise about potential lock-in to the Microsoft ecosystem and whether this could attract regulatory scrutiny. There's all kinds of stuff here. Brad, I'm going to start with you on this. How big of a deal is it to get locked into this MDEP?
It would be a big deal. We're a Zoom shop, but if I was locked into Zoom on a hardware level, that would be a big deal for us. The competition between these organizations is good for me. It's good for the end user. And being locked in on an infrastructure level would be a big commitment. I like that if Zoom starts failing and Teams is kicking butt, I can just go reboot all of my meeting rooms and all of a sudden I'm a Teams organization. Yeah. So that is a huge advantage for me. And I think that it keeps Zoom and I think it keeps Microsoft on their toes, on their development process, and keeps me winning no matter who wins.
Tom, I'm not going to say that you have a dog in this hunt, but if you're looking at this from a manufacturer standpoint, and I know enough about the certification process to be dangerous. I know it takes a while on the Microsoft side. I know it also doesn't take a while on the Zoom side. So Zoom is very quick. Microsoft's more involved. If you're a manufacturer looking at this going, okay, I could speed up the process, but then I'm locked into this platform, which way would you feel like going?
Not the way that locks me into that certification process. So many of the dealers that we speak with are going to want the flexibility to do exactly what Brian just said. If one platform is failing or a new feature comes out on the other platform and you just want to switch because of some cool features that are available, but to do that you have to change all your hardware. That's not a road that seems good for our end users. And that's really, whenever we create a product or do anything internally, the first question we ask is, it's good for our customer? And if the answer is no, then we don't even look at that path. The other thing that it does too is it really, if everything's the same, it just forces, the only thing it does is going to force down the cost. You have to compete on price only. There's nothing that's really going to differentiate you. And we feel that we're a value add type of manufacturer, and we're not going to have the same MOQ power as a Logitech's going to have. I'm not going to order 100,000 of anything, so it would put us at a disadvantage right away. So it's something that we really wouldn't be interested in.
All right, O'Donnell, you have the last word on this one. You're looking at this. I'm just going to let you start talking. I'm not even going to set you up.
I think that if that's a good way of you wanting to have folks either dive all in or shut the door entirely, That's what I would tell you. For us, and you know what, this is a perfect thing. So Poly does their own brand or their own blend of Android. So they can tailor it up. And specifically, we came at them with, hey, you guys, we've been using Lightware's Taurus switchers. And for the longest time, Poly said, oh yeah, sure, you can control that, via the third party control and everything. We went into it and they were like, you're going to a specific third party manufacturer. And they said, you know what, let's work with Lightware. We'll see about coming up with an update. And literally at the end of this month, and they announced it actually at Infocom, that they said, here, if you swipe left, you'll be able to pull up a website URL. In this case, it's Lightware's web GUI. I can go and pull up Lightware's web GUI. That's the beauty of Poly being able to go and say, here, we control this. We're able to do this. If they start going down the Microsoft MDEP realm, they'll go, we have to get this all okayed by Microsoft. And then everyone else, it's one of those things of it locks it in, and now I have to get the Teams version of this. And I will say this, at Rutgers, it's almost flavors of soda. And we can't tell folks, oh yeah, here, you're just going to be a Pepsi house. No, folks want Sprite. Folks want Dr. Pepper. Like, we try to go platform agnostic as possible. And, at one point we were telling everyone, hey, Cisco can do all this stuff. They're like, yeah, but we want like a more natural Zoom feel, or we just want to dial in. We try to be agnostic about this stuff as much as possible. And seeing this, I'm going, cool. From a manufacturer perspective, I would almost say you have the Teams certified branded one, and then, here's the one for Zoom and everyone else. And, at that point, just watch the market make its decision.
Last story here actually comes from us from AVNation. Las Vegas's newest attraction, it's called Atomic Golf. Please do not confuse this with the other golf outlet in Vegas. Still a fine place, but this is not Top Golf. Okay? Atomic Golf is what it's called. The venue features 8 cutting-edge virtual putting areas designed by Baudry Interactive, powered by 32 Christie GS series laser projectors. These futuristic greens use infrared cameras running 170 frames a second to track golf balls with millimeter precision, allowing for real-time gameplay overlays and competitive multiplayer action. I did not see this when I was there for Infocom, and now I want to go back to Vegas, which, just for the record, is a huge thing for me to say. Tom, start with you on this. This is one of those. So a couple years, 10 years ago, right? Avixa put out like, hey, we're looking for exceptional experiences. That's what the AV industry does. We make exceptional experiences. And I remember that because, first of all, it was alliteration, and I like alliteration. But secondly, it was a big move away from block boxes. This is an exceptional experience, right? Christie's not a sponsor. Atomic Golf's not a sponsor. I couldn't care less. But this is an exceptional experience. How else can we, either leverage this experience to say this is what AV does, or dadgummit, make more of these?
Yeah, I think, look, AV is what is going to keep our younger generation and older folks too engaged in wherever they're at. We used to go to the movies all the time, right? No one goes to the movies anymore because they watch this little thing called TikTok. So why do they watch TikTok? Because it's something different over and over and over again. So when you go to a venue, whether it's a house of worship, a bar, a restaurant, retail, there needs to be something that brings you in and keeps you there, and then also makes you want to go back to that place. If I go to a restaurant for some beer and wings, and they have a 42-inch plasma TV up on the wall, I'm probably not coming back. But if they've got 50 TVs and a big projector and a sound system that I can feel, I'm going to say I want to go back to that place over and over again when there's a big game or a big event on. So I think AV is what is going to, whatever industry it is, the more involved the AV experience is, the more likely is that those folks that are going there are going to come back and stay. So it's important that we bring AV to spaces we didn't even think we should be bringing AV. 15 years ago, we wouldn't think we'd have this amazing sound and video experience at a church. And now it's if you don't, people don't go.
You're right. That is the bare minimum expectation, right?
For sure. Yeah. So I think it keeps people engaged and active and want to keep doing the things that they're doing if it is an exceptional AV experience.
O'Donnell and Brad, I'm going to pick on you guys a little bit. Again, it's been 10 years since I was a tech manager, so give me a little bit of latitude here. But that was a conversation 10 years ago about the students coming into our campus, and they had a high expectation, right? They were coming out of high school, but the high schools either had smart boards or they had certain levels of technology, but even at home, they had more technology than a lot of our college campuses did. And so the idea was we better have something that attracts them. We better have something that hooks them in. O'Donnell, how do we get, whether that's the students coming into your campus or it's the corporate folks, how do we get those exceptional experiences created?
So, all right. First off, I also want to note that in New York, there's a place that has a over-the-top kind of AV experience, or at least it has been for like the past
I would say
years.
Times Square.
No, it's not. It's actually this place called Halls du Lumières, and it's down on Chambers Street. And they took an old bank, renovated, and they went and renovated it. And there's I want to say at least 100 plus Epson projectors all over the place and everything. It's a they do it as essentially like this fully immersive art exhibit, and then there's a couple other corporate events and everything. The wife and I actually went and saw a history of Gustav Klimt, which I'm going to stay out of the art history realm, but to watch that in an entire building, we're talking the bank vault, we're talking the downstairs area, we're talking the bank teller lobby area, everything fully immersed. That's pretty impressive. That's one of those, you want to wow and shock everyone. There you go. Now on the higher end realm of things, we have, I'll give you this one. Recently we had, our School of Environmental and Biological Sciences, came to us and they got a grant. They said, we want to update our theater / auditorium. Okay, sure. No problem. And, we want to do Zoom in here. Okay, fine. That's it's nothing this isn't anything that's blowing my brain. And then they suddenly looked at us and went, we want to have 7.1 surround sound as well. And I went, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, no, it's because the faculty have been, this is their marine sciences department and everything. Guess what? They're in quite a bit of documentaries. And they're mixed in surround sound. And they like to show this off to the students. And they like to give them the immersive feel. So what went from me just going, okay, here's your usual 4x3 switcher and everything else, blah, blah, blah. Nope. Now we have, we've adapted. We had a HDMI decoder, which is then going into a DSP. It's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those ones where folks went, no, we need to have surround sound. And I'm just like, okay, you have to up our game for classroom spaces. It's fine. It's doable. But, that's one of those kind of wow factors. Yeah.
So you keep saying this really old term there, O'Donnell.
What's that?
7.1 surround sound. There's a thing called Atmos now. You should have done that.
It's a 2-story open building. I am, as I say,
and
listen, if I wanted to swing the stick and call the folks at Dolby and said, here, this is going to be an acoustical nightmare, figure it out.
I mean, if they're in documentaries and you say, look, we're Rutgers, we're in documentaries, we should have an Atmos system.
True. At the same time, this is also a grant, so
all right,
I can only rock it so much.
Brad, same question. How do we make exceptional experiences for, quite frankly, the folks that are using your guys' spaces?
So yeah, I have a couple of things. I'm going to mirror Bill for a second and talk about a downtown New York City experience that I had, which is the elevator in the Freedom Tower. So the elevator in the Freedom Tower has video walls on every side. And as the elevator ascends the 100 stories, it shows the New York skyline growing from grass and trees all the way to what it is today. And then you get out of the elevator at the top, and then the curtains come across and you see the view of the entirety of the city. So that was a really cool experience. And I think that when we think about these AV experiences, they should elevate a real experience. So that elevates the experience of revealing the New York skyline as it is today. For me in higher ed, I also had the film and screen studies department. They want, a 30-person movie theater, 4K projector, 24 frames. It's got to do region-free Blu-ray, the surround sound. So I totally understand Bill on that. And they want, the color on the projector to be perfect and everything like that. And I mean, it is a beautiful, small movie theater is what it ended up being. Something else that I've noticed is we've done ceiling mics in a lot of our spaces. At this point, we have almost every single classroom doing full room audio pickup. And for distance learning, because we're a multi-campus institution, we actually have campuses that are about an hour and a half apart. It has been fantastic. The professor can be anywhere. Conversations can be heard. Student questions can be heard. Everything in the room, everything for that experience is brought into Zoom and into our far end participants. So yeah, I think we need to focus on elevating experiences that people are either enjoying or using as tools.
That'll be a good place to stop. Thank you all so much. Mr. O'Donnell, how do people connect with you?
So folks can find me on Twitter and occasionally on LinkedIn. So there you go. You can.
And what is your X handle?
Oh, my X handle. The original OD, and usually I'll be pinging things off of the 5 questions that Mr. Netto usually throws up on Sundays, and I try to keep my opinions fairly balanced.
And if you want to follow along on X, that is hashtag AV in the AM. Brad, very nice to meet you, sir. And how do people connect with you or Pace?
Thanks for having me, Tim. So with me, it's going to be Bradford Terry on LinkedIn. I'm not big on Twitter, so just LinkedIn, Bradford Terry. And yeah.
Tom Oliver, thank you so much, sir. How do people connect with you or Vanco?
Vanco, pretty easy. We're vanco1.com. Kind of shows all of our stuff that we've got, our video distribution, audio, 70 volt, all that type of stuff. And you can also connect with us at CEDIA this year. It's coming up. It'll be sooner rather than later. We've already had a lot of planning sessions on it. We're booth 1523. So come on out to Denver. It'll be a great show, brand new booth, showing a lot of new exciting technology out there this year.
Yeah, we will be out there as well, the 5th through the 7th of September. For Tim Albright, don't follow me anywhere. I am not that interesting, but go by the website, AVNation.tv. That is AVNation.tv. You will find this program and a host of others. According to Mitchell, our fantastic editor and producer, we have a new EdTech that just was released and a new State of Control coming down the pipeline. So all that and more at AVNation.tv. That's AVNation.tv. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. That's all the time we have for AV Week.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AV Nation.
This is AV Nation.